Hi everyone and welcome back to Have You Got 10 Minutes, the podcast where we get to know remarkable people in just 10 minutes. I'm Nikki Tapper and this is the second episode in the Jamaica special series. Why Jamaica, Nikki? Well, I visited the country for the first time in 26 years last November and was not only struck by the weather, the gorgeous food, but the diversity of stories Jamaica has to offer. So I thought, why not bring together some voices to celebrate the island and to share their stories with you and with me. Today, I'm joined by actor and former pilot John Chambers, who lives in Clarendon. So John, have you got 10 minutes?
Sure, I do. I've got more than 10 minutes for Nikki.
Thank you ever so much. And also, who is John Chambers?
Wow. Okay. Well, I was born in Mandeville, Jamaica. Grew up in Maypen, Clarendon, and I am the third but second child for my parents. I have 6 siblings. I say third because the first 2 are twins. My eldest brother and sister, Michael and Eileen, are twins, and I'm the third child. My late father was a Baptist minister. In fact, he was the founder of the Maypen Baptist Church in here in Maypen, and pioneer. And my mother was a teacher for many years at the Maypen Infant School. So, yeah, I grew up here in Maypen, went to Glenmere High School, and from there, tried to take on the world.
Well, look, I'm going to hear about how you tried to take on the world and to give people an idea of where you are in terms of the island. I'm not great with my geography, but I'm guessing, and I'm having to look at the map, Mandeville's kind of to the south of Jamaica,
That's
south?
correct. So, if you use Kingston as a reference point, the Manchester would be to the southwest of the island of Jamaica. And then Clarendon, where I grew up, is kind of in the south center parish of Jamaica.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to hear a little bit more about some of that. But tell me then more about this journey from you. I hear that therefore you had very committed parents, as you said, in terms of a faith journey. What was life like for you? Did you get chance to be creative? And because I mentioned that you're an actor, so where did that come from?
Well, certainly. I must thank my parents. They were parents who really gave us great exposure and encouraged us to do whatever good we were interested in. So from a very tender age, I was, of course, naturally at Sunday school, and there was always singing. I think that's where maybe my acting started, in Sunday school, skits and so on. And throughout high school, I was involved in cadets at high school and choir and drama. And our parents really encouraged us to get involved in these things. I remember in third form, going to then JBC studios with the choir to record Christmas concerts. And my first time being in this television studio and just to see, going to the National Stadium. I remember there was a choir festival one year, choirs from all over the world came to the National Stadium, and there I was with the school choir there, and went to Cincinnati, Ohio at the age of 14. So the watchword then and came from our parents was just exposure, and I think that's one of the greatest things you can give yourself and your children is exposure.
Yes.
Because it just sets them on a great path going forward.
And again, as you said, to know of what else is going on in and around the world and that you're part of is a great education for anyone. And so there you are. You're fortunately blessed to have parents that have that in you. You do go on.
Yes.
But I know that possibly like what I would have with my late parents, you best get your education. And get that sorted first, and get a career.
That was paramount.
But get a career. And I gather you got the career as a pilot.
Well, it kind of came in a roundabout way, because even at high school, I wasn't so sure on what I wanted to do as a career. In fact, at one point, I thought I'd want to do mass communication, radio and television, and then I thought I wanted to be a meteorologist and so on. I must blame my then neighbor here in Maypen, where I grew up. Across the road, my friends live, Robert Gordon, the Gordons. And Robert was ahead, about 2 years ahead of me in high school. But by the time he left high school, he went on to get his pilot's license it's private license. And we talk a lot about aviation, and I think that's where the bug bit. Secondly, also, you find that in Jamaica, the JDF would fly the helicopters all over the island. And for me, whenever a JDF helicopter came into my community, into my town, I was the most excited person. Wherever it landed, I had to be there. I had to, and I'd run through over fences, run down track, over roads, just to find where this helicopter landed. So I think those two things kind of triggered it for me. So that by the time I got onto, when I left Glenmuir, I went on to Micro Teachers College and I had my diploma in education. But just across the road, for those who know Kingston, just across Morrisco Road and around from Morrisco Road is South Camp Road, where the military base is, Up Park Camp. And I would stay on the Buxton building at Micro and look over towards Up Park Camp and just watch the helicopters fly in and out of camp. And I was fascinated. So that by the time I graduated from Micro, I had joined the JDF, and my friends were like, "Where is John?" And they were told, "John has joined the army." They're like, "What?
My
when?" Not because I wanted to march up and down, not because I wanted to carry a rifle, not because I wanted to crawl through the bushes. I wanted to fly the helicopter.
My goodness. And thankfully that has happened for
that
you.
That happened.
And you became a captain, I believe, and you've not just done a little bit of, taking one or two people across the seas. You've taken some big names, haven't you, I believe?
I've met a few.
Including royalty?
In the JDF, yes. Well, before they got to the royalty, I remember Merlin Otti came when at the height of her career. She came back to Jamaica.
Yes.
And we took her around the island by helicopter. Then, close to when I was leaving, now King Charles had visited Jamaica. Then he was Prince Charles. It took him around. Then, just when I was leaving, Prince Edward came, and so flew them around. And even locally, the JDF was always responsible for flying the heads of state. So the Governor General, the Prime Minister are persons I would always be flying at some point in time in my career in the JDF.
Look at that. Well, already it sounds as though an illustrious career, sounds so vibrant, and I'm sure you could share one or two stories. We haven't got time for all of those, but when I meet you in the flesh, we can share over a little rum. However, as I said, this is just a snippet really into who you are. And one of the two questions I have for you to end some of our time is really about the island of Jamaica. What is it about Jamaica that you love and why you do?
Well, I just squeeze this in. We don't have much time to go into the acting, but after Air Jamaica, then the acting career.
Oh gosh, yes, no worries. Okay, rewind. Yes. Let's do that, because that is the key thing. Because you've been in one or two movies. I've seen some of the clips there on YouTube. So how did the love for that, and then now making that the career of acting?
Well, I've always, as I said earlier, I've always loved acting.
Yes.
I think that's my God-given talent. And at high school, yes, my first play was Cinderella. But in the Cinderella play, I was Cinderella's brother, and I was a Rastafarian called Japushkin. So in fourth form, we took this theatre play to festival, and I got my first gold medal in acting.
Yes.
So that acting has always been there. And during my time at Air Jamaica for 10 years, I never acted. I was never able to get on stage. I was never able to get in front of a camera because I was never home. I came home today and I'm gone again tomorrow on a flight. But when Caribbean Airlines came, and I said, you know what? I don't want to fly for Caribbean Airlines. I signed a document to fly for Air Jamaica. I said, no, I want to focus on my acting. That's in 2017. And I started on my career, and I've done quite a bit of short films and film. The highlight of those was I did a short film in 2022 called Raw Materials, and that film has created history in that it's the first Jamaican film to be Oscar nominated. So that's on the books. That's the record.
Raw
Materials.
That's brilliant. Please, everybody, look out for that one.
Raw Materials. That's a short film. It's somewhere out there. The next high point was when the last Bond movie, No Time to Die, as you know, they filmed a bit of it in Port Antonio, and I was fortunate to be in one little bit of a queened mini part scene. We almost never made it because it was almost edited out. But no matter, I was able to be on that set, and it was like, wow! I saw a A-listed film set, at the highest level, and that was a high point for me. So, and then right now I'm working on writing my own TV series, or maybe for TV, we'll see. It's called Crown of Thorns. It's a Jamaican drama episodic, Crown of Thorns. So seeking out for production funds. So if there's anyone listening who is willing to invest in film in Jamaica, talk to Nikki, who can get in touch with me.
I'll share
but film, I'm excited about film, and film is that's my dream. That's what I'm waiting for now. That's what I'm doing now full time.
And yes. that again is just so encouraging and inspiring to hear that, you know, alongside of, as I said, a very vibrant, illustrious career as a pilot, this is now what you would like to do, and I really pray that does inspire others. And so let me go back then to the question that I put to you about what it is about Jamaica that you love and why.
I love the physical beauty of Jamaica. And you see a bit of it when you're flying in. But when you're flying in Jamaica from the east, like for those who are coming like from the UK, and you see for the first time, or you see the Blue Mountain Range, you really have to say, wow. And the other day I was up in Holywell. Holywell is just past Newcastle. And going around. It's a recreational park. It's under the Blue and John Crow Mountain National Park. And I love the mountains because it's so majestic. It's so peaceful. When you see the fog come down in the mountains and the green, lush vegetation, I love that. So I love the great outdoors, and I love the mountains more than even the beaches or the rivers. I really love being up in the high hills and mountains of Jamaica.
Wonderful, wonderful, John. Thank you so much. And my little taste of it, where my late father was from, at St. Thomas Blue Mountains, Epping Farm,
yes,
Hilangoli, as they say. Amazing, amazing.
Yes,
John, absolutely brilliant. The last question I have then for you is, what is your favourite piece of music that you go to and why?
You know, I love the Jamaican artist Luciano. Luciano, one of his singles is God Give Me Strength to Face Another Day. And I go to that piece of music very often for Luciano, and I love to listen to it. God Give Me Strength.
Excellent. Thank you, John Chambers.
Thank you, Nikki.
Thank you, John, for sharing your story. Please do follow him, message him if you want to on social media platforms. Look for @Triune Pictures, TRIUNE Pictures. Do the same for me. Just look for Nikki Tapper, NIKKITAPPER. And join me again when you'll hear another voice from the island of Jamaica sharing their story. Until then, please take care, and thank you for listening to Have You Got 10 Minutes, the Jamaica special. Have You Got 10 Minutes series is presented and produced by me, Nikki Tapper, for NT Events Limited and Nikki Tapper Limited.